So if you guys are following along on like the Friday videos, which I hope you are, right? We just finished doing the whole interior on the Suburban. And for the record, that guy didn't make a sound until I hit record. Right? But along the way, there was some good, there was some bad. I mean, typical with most projects, right? Like, you hope for the best, but you expect the worst. So we're going to kind of talk about some things I thought were going to come out better, some things that kind of came out just as I thought. And, well, we're going to have to talk about things that came out a little worse on this week's Tuesday Morning Tech Tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. So we really have been just like turning and burning on the square body here, right? We took it on a trade a couple months ago and just got after it because we thought it was going to be this like super quick turnaround. And, well, it's not too bad. A little bit worse than we thought. And that was, I thought the interior was going to be the easiest thing. And I was sadly mistaken for a number of reasons. First and foremost, somebody took it apart and didn't label anything. I mean, I found parts, hardware and stuff under the seats, the needle for the gear selector under the seat, like just broken, and just stuff everywhere. And because we're trying to do this budget build, I wasn't trying to go out and buy any of those things, like as little as possible. So I repaired them and I kept scrounging. I kept looking for parts, and lo and behold, guys, I think we nailed it. Here you go, check it out. I mean, it's all together. It looks like a complete square body, and we had a little fun with the headliner. Another thing I didn't plan on doing, right? So I started back here, and I worked this way, and everything was a little more than I thought, which, guys, that's just how projects go, right? You start doing something, and if you're there trying to make an honest estimate, double everything that you just said, and you're probably pretty accurate. That's how it goes, especially when you're dealing with older stuff that you can't always find stuff for. This one being an oddball year really screwed me. Prices, things are getting more expensive. We see it every day. We live it, so we know that's a reality. And it's no different in the car world, right? But we're going to sit down and talk about a few of the things that we think we did very well, and we definitely got our money's worth. Some things we could have planned better, and some things that, maybe pinching pennies doesn't always work. You get what you pay for. Buy once, cry once. I mean, whatever analogy you want to use, you hear them all the time, and there's a lot of truth to them, right? So when you're doing a budget build, you don't want to hear that, right? You want to be able to reuse stuff. You want to buy used parts, in good condition, right? That was a key to this whole thing. We'll get to that in a second. But you just don't want to pay up for stuff, right? So, like I said, we started at the very back, worked our way forward. So the used part thing, and I've talked about these guys a million times, is the New Boys Square Body Rescue. Totally hooked me up. I got the best window I possibly could have gotten. The gasket was awesome, all that. And then I got the door panel that Corey searched for me until he found the right color, and even a similar patina for how it's worn with the ones in here. I mean, it fits perfect. So now if I would have went out and bought a brand new one of either one of those, I would have spent more money, and now I'm dealing with repop stuff that doesn't always fit the best. And we'll get to that in a minute. So that was perfect. That I would do that 100 times over. I love dealing with those guys. And so if you got a square body, you're looking for parts, check them out. As always, we'll have the kit with the link and all that kind of thing. So then we did the floor, right? We looked at the bed liner. That's what we want to put in. And I was gonna roll it in because I've done that a million times. And then I said, well, let me try something different. Kind of part of this whole thing is, review stuff, see how different stuff works. So we went with the Rust-Oleum, the Turbo Can spray stuff, which a lot of people didn't even know they had. I was one of those people until I saw the ad, like online or whatever. I like it. It covered awesome. Didn't have the texture I wanted. That was the only downfall to it. We haven't used it yet to know if stuff's going to grip on it or not, but it looks great. And there was one key thing that I mentioned before, I completely found this out on accident, is the Rust-Oleum stuff doesn't have MDI in it. So MDI is this chemical that can jack you up, basically. If you have it enclosed in here, it never fully cures, and you'll constantly be breathing it in. So that's not something you want, right? Rust-Oleum didn't have it, so like I said, I found this out on. It was a happy little accident, guys. So we did that, and it came out good. And like I said, that was definitely the right product for this, and it only cost like $100, which is a little cheaper, or kind of like right in where a roll-in liner would have cost us, I guess. So that worked out well, right? Turns out it worked out even better than I thought because of the whole chemical thing. So that was a good one. Then we did the headliner, which I planned on just reattaching the old one. And if it wasn't vinyl with, little perforations throughout the whole thing, probably could have done that. I didn't pay close enough attention. And then I kind of put myself, in a corner there because
nobody puts baby in a corner.
I was ready to go, and I didn't have material. And I kind of wanted to do that to keep moving the project along. So we went out and got some, right? We went to local places. Now, I mentioned before, I didn't get the exact thing I wanted, but as I put it together and put it in, and now the more I see it, it was definitely the right one for this project. So that was, dare I say, another happy little accident.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Right? That sounded like a happy little accident, whatever that was. Anyways, so that's, and it's adhering awesome. Everything's just great there. So we're good there. Another thing that came out a little better than I thought it would. That one was kind of a roller coaster because I thought the other stuff was going to be great. Then I saw it wasn't. Then I didn't like the product and this, and then so now we're here and I love it. So we're good. Then we just got after this thing, scrubbing it. I did not realize how dirty this thing was. I don't know. It was kind of a parts rig, so there was just stuff thrown all in it. When I say parts rig, not that they were pulling stuff apart, but they just threw everything into this thing. And it was nasty, right? So I spent a week just scrubbing this thing with chemicals and scrub brushes, and I just got after it. And it turned out great. The interior is nice and clean. It smells so much better. The door jambs, all that kind of stuff, just really totally worth it. Didn't cost me nothing but, I don't know, $10, $20 for chemicals and whatnot, and a bunch of elbow grease. But totally worth it. This thing cleaned up. Awesome. That left us with the dash, which the old dash was beat. There was absolutely no way of saving it, right? I did very, very early on the channel. I used some vinyl that I paid like $15 for from the craft store, and that little Bondo and whatnot, and we fixed the dash on my brother's Trans Am. It was a 3rd gen GTA. It came out really good, and super cheap. That was awesome, right? This dash, that just had it was kind of just, right? It wasn't the whole full dash curved and molded like this was. So we were kind of not left with a lot of options. So, well, we were and we weren't, because at the end of the day, it's a square body. They repop everything for these things. So body-wise, I'm saying, when you start looking for parts for an 89, that's a little tougher as far as exhaust and motor stuff and all that. But body stuff and interior like that, all the same. From what I've found, not an expert, right? But so you can buy just a dash pad, which I mean you can go super cheap and just put like the rug thing over it for like $30, and it'll cover your cracks and it might clean it up a little bit, but it's kind of ghetto. That's just how that is. Not that we're above that because we did it on a square body, not the square body. What was that? This is a square body, the hard body. That's what I meant to say. So, well, we did that on the hard body because we had already tried a similar brand or whatever of what we used here. So that didn't work. Color was off. Nothing would fit. We ended up returning that and we went with the carpet thing. I'm going to tell you what, I was almost in that same boat here. I went cheap, guys. There's no question about it. There was, so LMC truck and all these other guys, they all have the dash pad you can buy and glue on there. I didn't want to spend, I think it was $120 for LMC trucks. I found one on eBay for $80, and then if I got a different color, it was only $60, so I did that. Once I went to put that on, I regretted my decision. I showed you in the video, and I said, well, the kid put some clips as usual, but things didn't line up. As far as like there was like a little cutout that's supposed to be here, and it's here, right? And everything was just off, which was not fun, right? Very aggravating. The speaker panels didn't line up. Everything was kind of pulled a little bit to the side, so then it was all pulled a little bit to the right. So on the left side, kind of coming around where the gauges go in and stuff, it was kind of stretched and kind of pulled the thing weird. And I'll give you guys a close up here, or maybe the kid will kind of do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll show that here as I'm talking about it. That's wow. I probably should edit. He'll edit this out. No, he won't. So yeah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. We ended up getting it together. It looks good, especially for like what this truck is, right? It's a shop rig, right? It's basically it. So it's clean. It looks good, But when you come across the front, you can really see a gap. We got some ideas for that. I don't know if they're going to make it any better though. I got some weather stripping that I was going to try there. That doesn't seem to be working. We'll see. You'll follow along on our Friday videos, and you'll know when it's all said and done. After I clean everything up and I can really see it, get it out in the sunlight, maybe we'll see, But yeah, it now I'm at this dilemma, right? So I obviously I'm working with a $60 item. I did the best I could from the inside of the vehicle. It looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it looks way better than it did. And like I said, with the condition of the rest of it, it fits, right? If you're doing some kind of like restoration or, anything like that, I don't recommend a 60-day eBay fly-by-night special. I don't. So I mentioned in the video when we were doing the dash, the Journey HQ, that's a YouTube channel. These guys do a lot of square body stuff. They did a great job. From what I could see in the video, everything fit great. Now the key was taking it off and taking it out of the vehicle and working it outside. Another part I screwed up on is that panel that goes across the front. I should have left that in, and I didn't. So that took some more work for me to get it to work afterwards, and that was on me. Right? They did not do that. They did it the right way. So I probably should have followed that example. But theirs came out from what I said. So what I saw, go watch their video. Put a link in there. It came out great. It fit way better. Now they spent double the money, right? So now you're at $120, and you're doing a lot of work, guys. I mean, you're pulling it out, you're prepping everything, you're waiting the time for it to dry. It took some time. There was a lot of work that went into it, really. So, and then you're waiting at least 24 hours for it to cure. So over to you, right? If that's worth it. So I don't know. I can't tell you how the $120 fit would have fit on this. I know in theirs it looked great. Roll the dice. I don't know. Or for about $230, you can go to like Classic Industries. I think it was $230 or $250, something like that, and buy a dash pad assembled. The only thing you got to do is take off the little clips that lock in the back off your old dash, bolt them on a new one, and you're good to go. If I had this to do over again, well, no, not for this one. Let's say I get another square body, which is possible, right? And I wanted to do the dash, and I was going to make it nice. I'd spring for the $200 and something. Now they range up to like $500 if depending on what one you want to get or whatever. But do some research, shop around, look at reviews, watch some YouTube videos, and see what goes, how it all goes. Funny is, after I screwed up my dash, I watched another video, and I saw he did the same thing I did with the little trim panel. So I should have kept researching, and I would have saw that I was about to screw that up. So that's on me again. But yeah, it's one of those things, Do you want to spend all the time, save $100, spend all that time, and possibly have it fit good? Or drop another $100 and just let it bolt in. That's I can't tell you what your budget is. If I'm already spending 120, maybe I would spend Kevin's told me something. He always has a saying for things, right? And this is one that I'm reluctant to listen to, but he's not wrong. When it comes to this kind of stuff, you can always make more money. You can't make more time. So, which one's more important to you? For this vehicle, I think we made the right call still, but I don't think, I know I'm not going to go through that struggle again to get a less than par result. And that's just, you live and learn, right? That's what you got to do. But luckily for you, you can learn from my mistakes and go out and make your own new and interesting mistakes. Thanks for watching, guys.